State. There's a lot of Iowa State alumni in the Omaha area. And let's not forget, he coached at Wayne State, just up the road in Wayne in the Division II program. A lot of familiarity with Greg, and that's made the transition to Omaha a lot easier for him.
Well, in my opinion, what you're seeing at Northern Iowa right now, the success they had knocking off Kansas last season, is a direct reflection of Greg McDermott's time at Northern Iowa.
And let's not forget that Iowa State is unbeaten to this point as well, which is a direct reflection of Greg McDermott as well. So an early turnover for BYU to start the second half. The Jays can continue to cut into that BYU lead. Antoine Young, long three-pointer. Just like that, we got ourselves a three-point ball game. And this is the type of game he has to be a force in, battling a top 25 team.
Talked to Blue Jay assistant Darren DeVries, who had the scout for BYU. I asked him a question before the game, where can you hurt BYU? And he said Kenny Lawson and inside, and they haven't been able to do that. They've done it with Doug McDermott, but not Kenny Lawson. So keep your eye on that. With Doug McDermott trying to throw the ball into Kenny Lawson, so when they come in double, it'll leave Doug McDermott wide open for a kick out.
Inside to Lawson, and he draws the foul. And that's just as good as Kenny Lawson can go to the free throw line, where he's a 75% free throw shooter. He's at the line for the first time tonight.
Pretty simple basketball. Set an on-ball screen with Kenny Lawson Jr. to keep Noah Hartstock and
off the front of the iron.
See a clear emphasis of trying to go inside to Lawson.
Emery, tough.
Those are too easy a shots.
Drew him in, stepped right back out, popped it. You saw Fredette do that earlier.
We got to be able to guard your man, because there was Jimmer Fredette clearing out, so Antoine Young can't stop and hang out and be there to help. You got to guard him one-on-one.
Antoine Young. And Antoine draws the foul.
So good going left. Obviously a left-handed player and drawn contact. He's going to have to get involved as well. 0 assists in the first half for Antoine Young. For a team that does not distribute the ball well, he is the best passer. He's going to have to get people involved. There's a double.
Nice. Doug McDermott now with 10 points, so he's in double figures now for the 7th straight game. Davies right over McDermott.
When you're a freshman, you got to get used to the speed of the game and doing your work early there. Davies sprints down the floor, beats McDermott to the block. Something you can get away with in high school, but at this level, when you're taking on a top 25 team, they will make you pay if you don't do your work early.
Inside to Lawson. Tried to go over Hartstock and couldn't get it over the big fella. Here's Emery. He's got wheels.
He's a nice player. He's a really, really valuable piece to what BYU is trying to do. So his injury and the fact that he couldn't start in the first half, it's amazing that BYU was able to overcome that. Nice. Young players watching at home right now. Take notes of what Antoine Young did right there. He just came off the ball screen. Sometimes you got to dribble it right at that hedge guy and initiate the contact and put the onus on the official to blow the whistle and draw a foul. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal. You regain possession, you run a base and out of bounds play, but 10 minutes from now, when you're in the bonus, it's plays like that they're going to be difference making in the game.
Tough inbounds pass by Antoine Young. Blue Jays get it, 30 on the shot clock. McDermott for 3. Gets his rebound, count it. Doug McDermott gets his 8th rebound, 12th point of the game, goes to the line to try to complete the old-fashioned three-point play.
This dude went to the prom last year, and now he's taking on a top 25 team, and he's already got 12 points going for his 13th of the evening. I'd like to say I'm surprised, but I'm not, because he's done it every single game up to date. This guy is special.
He's been
still got a baby face on it.
Can he shave yet? That's the question.
I don't think so.
I don't think he can shave yet.
No.
He's been the most consistent player for Creighton so far. And he plays a lot of minutes He's dependable, soft hands, smart. Fredette just cannot find anything tonight, which has been to the benefit of the Jays. And you mentioned it. Take away his shot, let other guys beat you. Early on, it was dangerous. You're like, what was going on? But it's starting to pay off the more this game goes along.
And that's where Greg McDermott's experience, you could see some young coaches panic and go away from that game plan. Trust yourself, trust what you saw on film, and stick with that.
Blue Jays losses this season have been on the road.
Good movement away from the basketball. Listen to the crowd.
15 points now. Lost on a neutral court against Iowa State. Lost at Northwestern. They've been tough to beat at home. Wide open. Wide open as that quiets the crowd real quick.
This place is getting ready to explode.
Kenny Lawson for three. You can tell that was short as soon as he released it, Nick.
He doesn't get a whole lot of lift on his three. That's the only area you can still tell he's a freshman. He's just a little bit soft in the block right now defensively.
Second
it's hard to be
personal
critical of a guy like
Doug McDermott, one of our players to watch. The freshman is not disappointed. 15 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. The freshman has done it all for the Blue Jays, and the other player to watch.
Question about it. He's way too skilled, way too crafty, understands the game way too good to not be effective. Now, his athleticism and strength would be an issue, but he would definitely be an effective player.
Fredette, that's where he becomes dangerous. He came off the pick and released that quick, Nick.
Yeah, he takes the ball out on baseline out of bounds plays and will then receive a screen, and he's knocked down a lot of jump shots just like that so far this season. And you got to expect at some point he'll stop being so patient and start getting real aggressive. Now some 2-3 zone from BYU.
Every time the Blue Jays chip away at that lead, Antoine Young for three, and he answers right back. BYU has an answer. Each team has had an answer here in the second half.
Well, in the first 2 seasons, that's the shot that Antoine Young has not hit consistently. And although he's not shooting a great percentage, I think anybody that's watched Creighton play understands that he has shot the ball much better this season. That's really expanded his game.
That's off Emery's foot. There's a fight for it. It's going to go back to Brigham Young. Shot clock now at 15. Fredette with it. Blue Jays have done a good job defensively on the All-American. He lets it fly. And there it goes to Wayne Runnels. It was getting batted around like a badminton, but it finally came back to the Blue Jays. Down 4. They've gotten as close as 3 after trailing at 6 at half. They can make it a 2-point ball game. And if they hit a 3 like Ashford hits here, it's a 1-point ball game. And now the Quest Center crowd is coming alive. The Blue Jays within 1 of the 21st ranked Cougars. Fredette has it blocked, out of bounds. Off for Fredette, Blue Jay basketball.
It is Blue Jay basketball.
Jimmer Fredette not getting the All-American treatment in Omaha tonight.
Doing it at both ends of the floor. Darryl Ashford knocks down the 3 ball against the zone, then comes off his man for the weak side block. Big play. Place is on their feet. We said they were going to need to knock down some 3-pointers. Antoine Young has knocked down 2. Darryl Ashford knocks down a triple. This place is getting ready to explode.
Over 15,000 at the Quest Center Omaha. Blue Jays have not led since the first minute of the ball game. McDermott with his 9th rebound, but throws it to Fredette, who can't hold on to it. And the Blue Jays catch a break. Fresh 35. We mentioned the home court advantage for the Blue Jays. Since this building opened up, the Blue Jays 101 wins, just 18 losses. And are you ready for this, Nick Baugh? The Blue Jays 23-0 at home on Wednesdays. It's Wednesday, December 1st.
And to take it a step further, when Greg McDermott was at Northern Iowa, he was 6-0 at home versus ranked teams.
And that shows you how he can prepare for ranked teams. And also, what a home court advantage can do.
Arguing. Referees didn't see who it went out on, and they're going to call it a jump ball, and it's going to stay with the Creighton Blue Jays. 22 seconds on the shot clock here.
.15 on the shot clock. Antoine Young inside to Doug McDermott. He's got 15. Kicks it back out to Caleb Corbin. Off the back of the iron, too much on that. Blue Jays still down 1. But the pace of the second half, Nick, has favored the Blue Jays. And at the under 13 minutes to go, Creighton has Brigham Young, I would say, right where they want him.
Absolutely. Wayne Runnels going to get caught holding. He definitely did.
Fans don't like it.
Brandon Davies had position on him.
Take another look at it. You'll see what Wayne Runnels tries to compensate for his lack of height and lack of position. So Josh Jones and Ethan Rogge back into the game for the Blue Jays.
Big minutes here with Antoine Young and Doug McDermott off the floor.
Good defense by Wayne Runnels. Here's the fight for it, out of bounds. Nobody got a good look at it. But from our vantage point, I think they got it right.
I think they did. Take another look at it here.
I think Ethan Rogge got it. Right? Yep.
It was close. Well, keep your eye on Fredette here. It'll pen him in for a 3. Mama, there goes that man, Jimmer Fredette. Just what the doctor ordered. Your team
Josh
is
Jones
struggling.
couldn't do anything about it.
No, that's just good D, better offense. That's taking it back to the park right there. He's from New York, looking like a New York baller.
Rogge to tie it. 48-48. And if Ethan Rogge starts heating up, watch out, folks.
You can make that.
Look at the hustle by the Blue Jays. Timeout, BYU. Cougars will keep the ball.
Will be a full timeout for the Cougars.
Blue Jays have trailed by as many as 12 in this. Now 4 of 8. It changes everything.
Again, watch Fredette here. Watch Fredette.
And watch Emery. That rattles in.
He's got a quick release. Watching film on him, he makes a lot of really contested threes. You think you're there on the catch, he just rises up on you. Interesting, they still have Antoine Young and Doug McDermott on the bench. See if they can steal another 30 seconds to a minute here of rest, because keep in mind, they've been off the floor for only about a minute of actual game time, but they've gotten about 5 or 6 minutes of rest because of the TV time.
And the next dead ball situation will be a timeout as well.
Oh my. Oh my.
The foul on BYU's number 31.
Another timeout on the floor.
His third, the team.
That runs that Princeton offense, runs a 1-3-1 goofy zone. See, tonight you're taking on BYU, talented team with an All-American. Sunday, go to Lincoln and take on your in-state rival Nebraska, and then play St. Joe's, a team that's been humbled the last couple years, but have a lot of basketball tradition. Everybody remembers Delonte West and Jameer Nelson, where they were a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament not too long ago, so they're hungry.
Ashford gets that one to go. Can he make it 3 in a row to tie it up at 51?
Now, this is a big swing here because Creighton was having a really bad possession, and Ashford just kind of rose up and luckily got fouled on a 3, and he knocks down all 3 free throws to match Jackson Emery's triple on the other end, so we're tied at 51 again.
BYU going into the student section. Jimmer Fredette, count it.
On the basket by Jimmer Fredette.
Again, BYU has had an answer for everything the Blue Jays throw at them.
Well, you got to expect for the final 10 minutes of this game, it's going to be all Jimmer Fredette making plays, whether it's